Yeah, so I'm thinking of like nature, how nature does that like expansion and contraction, right? Like the seasons, like we come alive in spring, and it's a slower process, but if you look at that whole process, it really is an expansion and a contraction. We go into the
Yes.
earth, we go, fallow. And so there is that, metaphor for what I'm noticing, I'm doing in my life.
Yes.
Yeah, and also like breathing, right? In and X. It's like that's kind of also that expansion and contraction, and emotionally sometimes, right? When we have a big emotional release or a big thing happen and we're so expanded and so in love or so in deep, deep grief, and then we go in and we get quiet. It's just
Mm.
kind of a normative process, but I think I am more maybe conscious of my own patterns and just noticing that I'm just coming out of a slightly too much energy out in the world and then needing to
Yes.
kind of shut down and create some boundaries around my time. That's
Waldorf kindergarten, um, founded by Rudolf Steiner, Austrian anthroposophist, it bases the whole day on inhalation and what you said expiration, which I thought, and you said inspiration.
inspiration and
I love that.
expiration.
No, it's true. It's like you start the day with free play and then circle time. We bring it all in. And then, there's lunch, which is very social, and then maybe a story or however the teacher will arrange it. But it's with those patterns of breathing. That's
Hmm. I love
beautiful that
that.
you can see
Yeah.
that in yourself.
Thank you.
I'm gonna look for that.
Thank you. Yeah. And it's actually interesting to talk about it because it usually makes me feel not crazy, but it's very stressful for me. So it's like to normalize it,
Yes,
is
you and
really,
you and
feels
Rudolf,
really healthy.
Steiner.
Sorry.
You and Rudolf Steiner.
Yeah. Well, that's really cool. I mean,
Yeah.
I love that way, that whole, I like his most of what he's about. I lived with a um, Rudolf Steiner teacher, whatever. Yeah.
Wife teacher.
Yeah, Waldorf.
Whatever.
I lived with a Waldorf teacher for like 4 years, so I know, I kind of
I
understand
love,
that
I love it.
philosophy a little bit. And
Yes.
um,
But you
yeah,
said you had a dream fragment or a
yeah,
small
yeah,
dream. Do
yeah.
you feel it reflects this?
Yes, actually, interestingly, I mean, I think that some of you may have remember or know that my ex-husband, who was a character in many, 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 many of my dreams, as I process things, he passed away about 3 weeks ago now, or a month now. I'm losing track. About 3 weeks, and so I've been processing a lot and having a lot of that sort of out there with myself in the world kind of thing, like you know, posting feelings and thoughts about him and then getting lots of response. I felt very out there in the world. And then when that was kind of over or subsided, I went so deep in. And then I have this dream, and this is the snippet, which is just that I was laying on a couch. I don't know what the room looked like. I just feel like I was laying on a couch, and he's standing behind the couch, kind of standing over me. And he looks like he looked, when he was healthy, when I was with him, when he was healthy. He was a little bit of a stocky body, strong and long dark hair. Um, and I was saying something, and he was kind of like reaching towards me. It's like I think I said, can I get a hug? And he like willingly, lovingly, leaned over and gave me a hug. And that was the whole dream.
I'm gonna cry. Oh my gosh. He was behind my, if I'm the dreamer, he was behind my head.
Wasn't really behind my head because I was laying down, but he was
Yeah.
like in the back of the couch, the part of the couch that comes up. He was
So when
standing.
he hugs me, does he like hug me
He kind of leaned
backward?
over. He just kind of leaned over, and I sat up and he leaned over. So in a way, we sort of met each other. Oh my God, I didn't even think of that. We like met in the middle. Oh God.
Oh my, it's just so beautiful. I mean, when you described him, I just would like our listeners to understand that he was he was just a man's man, but also a ladies' man. I mean, he was gorgeous. You know, he looked native Hawaiian.
Yeah,
I know he lived
he
in
did look
Hawaii
native.
after, but I don't know if that's his heritage at all. But um McCullum, I think he's Irish,
He's
right?
definitely got Irish and Scottish on his dad's side, and check on his mom. He's not at all native, but he does look native.
He
Yeah,
has
people
that spirit, and
yeah.
dream worker extraordinaire. I let Robert Moss know that he had passed.
Yeah,
Wasn't sure if he,
he saw my post and he
yeah,
responded.
okay,
So
yeah,
yeah,
wasn't sure if he knew. So,
yeah.
yeah, that's so beautiful. I wonder, how did you feel when you woke up from that dream?
Well, it's interesting. I had another dream after that that I don't think I want to share publicly because
Okay.
it's pretty really deeply personal. But they were so close together, the dreams, and so I woke up feeling actually pretty fantastic somehow, like just
Oh,
um, very alive. I felt very alive.
I love that.
Yeah, I felt very alive and very like
So beautiful.
yeah, just just like I got what I needed. I just felt like I got what I needed.
So, and I just have to ask, because I feel only the dreamer can tell this qualitatively. Did it feel like a dream visit, or just no? I mean, like, I don't even feel it as a dream visit, because it just feels like the moment. I can't even express what I'm feeling from this
Mm,
dream. It's not even, to me, not the dreamer, it's not even like a dream visit. It feels more here, feels more
yeah,
alive. You said alive, and I'm
right.
picking
Yeah.
up on.
Yeah, I don't have a clear sense. Like I have had like waking moments where I felt like I was being visited.
uh,
No, maybe not visited, but I could feel him. I just could feel his energetic presence so strong. Um, I don't have a strong sense that it was a visitation.
okay.
Um, but I mean, how could it? It's hard to know what it seems like. How could it not be a visitation? How could that not be?
Right.
Um, Yeah, how could that not be? But, it could also just be in my mind and it could be what my mind created to get a need met, that maybe hadn't been met in a long time. And to remember that, there was love there and that I could get that from him at some point. Not so much towards the end, but um
Hmm.
so
Because
I don't yeah,
living
I
living in Hawaii, he was in he was on the Big Island. Where did he live?
well, he odd whatever, crazily enough, he lived in Maui, but he lives in Kihei, which is where the fires were. Well, Lahaina or
Yeah,
whatever Lahaina is where the main thing was.
yeah,
Which so he and his family were safe because
yes.
his mom lived somewhere north of that, and his baby mama and other people lived in Kihei, but live in Kihei, but whatever the fire. I saw a picture of like Carrie actually posted a pic. She didn't put. She sent a picture to Donna anyway. These are friends of Tim's,
Mhm.
um, and it's like the fire was like at the end of the street, but it didn't get to them. So, but it was really close.
So
This was
so
pretty crazy
tragic.
timing. Yeah, pretty
So,
crazy
so many
timing.
people are just gone. They can't find remains. I mean,
Yeah.
it
Oh,
just really, really
horrible.
makes me want to weep for.
I
Gosh,
know.
now thanks, Alan. Now I'm in a weepy mood. Now I see how this day is gonna go for me. Ah, so
Yeah, well, it's good. It's good to weep. It's good to grieve and like move that through, right? Just yeah, yeah. The world is a pretty grievous place right now. I don't know if that's the right use of the right tense of that verb, but
I think that's the only word that can explain
yeah, there's
in
so
all
much
its grievous.
intensity. Yeah, there's so much
Grievous.
intensity.
I'm grieving for this world.
Yeah,
you know?
like there's so much, I guess I want to say there's so much grief in the world. There's so
Yeah.
many reasons to grieve.
Yes,
That's what I want to say.
it's grievous.
So many reasons to, I mean, it is just, yeah. And we, yeah, we just have to kind of keep going, right? It's like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
You know, some days it just is like, what am I supposed to do? What am
mhm,
I supposed to do? What's meaningful enough in the world as it is today? What is meaningful enough,
yeah,
for my life? Like, is this, and it's a kind of a funny question to ask, but
yeah. Yes,
yeah,
it's a good
yeah.
question to ask.
I
I
think
believe,
so.
what doesn't that's a quote of Goethe's, like, don't ask, how does this go? Don't ask, what does the world need of me?
Oh yeah,
Do what you're called to do, because
right.
that's what the world needs of you, for you
Yeah,
to be most fully alive.
you're fully yourself and fully alive.
Fully
That's
yourself.
Thank you for reminding me of that, because, I can really get caught up in that question of, what am I supposed to be doing and what is the best use of me? And I think that's an okay
Yeah.
line of exploration, but I also think that it's easy to get stuck in that who I am and what I'm doing isn't enough. And that's like a very dark, slippery slope
Yes.
for
Yeah.
me.
Yes.
So thank you. And it's true. Just what am I being called from,
Thank
like,
you,
my
Wilhelm.
heart? Yes. Yeah. Well, thank you, Yiskah, for reminding me of that. Yeah. 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 We just have to, what are we called to do? And
Exactly.
yeah, and that takes
Exactly.
some quiet inner space.
I
So
think
yeah, thanks for
that's
letting me
really what
share
we're
that.
getting out of this, is that we need to go inside, and that can lead me into, so as our listeners know, and as you know, Ellen, I've been working on manifesting my health. And I mean, I feel like I always say this, but listeners know I have multiple sclerosis since 1996. So, and I have so much faith in the divine, and I know that I will heal. My body has body memory, and I can still walk, but I don't have so much strength. But anyway, so I had been working on manifesting and bringing all my senses into it. And then I realized, oh my gosh, I wasn't even bringing my heart sense into it. And then I had learned I have to also bring my heart sense into it. And now I've been reading about Nikola Tesla's code of 369. Have you heard about this?
Mm.
Please just look online, you guys, if anyone wants to know more about it. Don't rely on me to say it true. But so then I read this thing, or I didn't read, I saw on YouTube that we need three things we want to manifest, you know, and we say it 6 times a day for 9 days. And so I've been doing that. And I think this is my Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Wednesday. It's my fifth day,
Mm.
4 more days. So but so this was my dream fragment. I had a dream that it was working. I had a dream that I was like, so I'll just say, one of it is like, in my head, it's like to be able to stand straight and strong and balanced, and then energized, and whatever else it is, which I don't want to say. But I had a dream I was like strong. I was so strong and standing up strongly, and I felt real to me. So how surprised I was to wake up.
Oh,
It's only day 5, there's still 4 more. But so I've been working on that. That would be like what Freud would call a wish fulfillment dream. That's
hmm.
so true. And also it could be thought of as like day residue, although there's nothing residue about it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
fresh.
Well, I like that idea. I mean, wish fulfillment. Why not?
Yeah.
Why not
Freud has something to say
get that
about that.
little, yeah. It's like getting a little bit of juice, to remind you that something is possible, like a
Yeah.
little reminder, like maybe this is possible. Maybe this could happen. Maybe it's happening on a very subtle level,
Feel
and
like
your
it is.
unconscious is saying like this. It's like slow. It's not there yet, but this is happening.
Yeah. I really believe it is. I really do. And I have for 26, 27 years.
Uh-huh.
Well, I don't know, for at least 26, I think. But I have such faith. I just believe in an intelligent universe.
Mm. Well, I want to say I love that you have that belief, and that sort of you do have it's like a, I don't know if I'd call it a silver lining, but you definitely have like a positive attitude
Just don't call it
about
rose-colored
everything.
glasses.
No, I don't think it's rose-colored glasses. I think rose-colored glasses always seems a little bit like somebody's delusional, and I don't think that about you at all. And I'm not even talking about this
Yep.
particular thing. I think just in general you have a positive vibe to you, like no matter what is happening you seem to be able to do that. I am not as um as experienced at that as you, as well practiced
You're
at the
not as, I'm,
positive.
I'm only doing this in jest. You're not as delusional. I really do
I
think
don't
I'm
know.
delusional.
No, I love that. I mean, listen, like why not? Why not? Why not? Like it feels better, I think, to have hope, to believe that something's possible,
Yeah.
to continue to, and I think that that's, and maybe there's something in that dream too that says that says keep doing this, keep doing this, keep believing. Because what's the alternative, you know?
You know, I think I may have told this online, but before I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, um, so let me think of the order of this. My mother, my mother had died in 1995. Um, I was so distraught. It like broke my heart. I was kind of praying to be just struck by lightning and dead. And one day I was at my friend's cabin up 4 Mile Canyon in Colorado, sitting in front of her wood stove and journaling in front of it. And as I'm journaling, the wood stove doors open, and I see burning in the wood the letters MS. And I wrote it down, but I had no idea what that meant.
Oh
And
my goodness.
I knew it was like multiple dystrophy. I wasn't sure what it was.
Hmm.
And it's in my journal. And so and then I got optic neuritis, cross country skiing with Charlie. And then a whole host of things started happening. But because of that, I always feel that I'm not in this alone. That spirit
Wow.
came to say, this is coming. And so I always feel accompanied.
Wow. That's awesome. It's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe spirit is showing you something now in that dream. Like,
Yeah. Oh, yes.
hey, I'm here. I'm here. Yeah.
And it's been 27 years. So
Yeah.
more than half my life. Does that
Yeah.
make sense?
That's a long
Just
time.
about, yeah, yeah. Let me do math.
Yeah. Wow.
So there's so
Yeah.
many special moments. When I was a teenager, I had written, same journal, I imagine. This was one of my first journals. I had, oh no, because I would have been 26. So no, different journal for sure. But I had written, life is a living conversation with a responsive universe. And I was reminded of that because somebody else was talking about that on her podcast. And I was reminded that I really knew that as in my 20s. I really knew that. And
Mm.
now it's so good to be reminded. Life is a living conversation. And that if your dream was my dream, that was a living conversation, and it's a responsive universe because, as my friend Ellen said, it gave me what I need.
Yeah. Yes. Yes,
Very
exactly.
grateful.
That's beautiful. I love that. I love that way of, yeah, a living
Everything is
conversation.
alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. And I so believe that, right? In this moment, I can feel that, like
Mhm.
the aliveness in everything, and that we are in constant conversation. I love that.
Eckhart Tolle. It wouldn't be a Dream Stream podcast these days if I didn't quote, because I always listen to him, his podcast. Um, he's talking about even inanimate, and we do this in dream theater, even inanimate objects
Yes.
are alive.
Yes.
You
Especially if
know,
we're creating them in our if we're creating them in a dream, or
yeah,
we're, somehow thinking about that, a couch or thing, it's
he's
like,
talking about the greater dream of being alive.
mm,
Even this
mhm,
desk in front of me,
mhm.
it's alive.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it's sentient, right?
No, but right, it's a collection of cells that are alive.
Yeah, yeah, like
In a
moving or
dense,
whatever.
yeah, in a dense form.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's beautiful.
Well, is there anything else you would like to
Mhm.
talk about?
Gosh, I just, not really. I feel like there's been a lot going on, and nothing that I really want to talk about necessarily. It's just a lot of life, just a lot of ordinary but stressful life.
Have you
Um,
been writing or painting or
yes,
sculpting
I
something with
have been
paint?
writing.
Yeah.
Rejoined this writing group that I had
Oh,
been
I'm
in
so
for
glad.
years, but I can't keep doing it because it's
Okay.
very expensive. But
Okay.
I'll do it for the duration of the series. And most of my writing has been processing things with Tim, about my relationship, about my feelings, about my grief, about my anger, whatever, all of it. And it's been fantastic for that. I really feel like I'm processing, but I would not necessarily say I'm doing my best writing, and I don't even know what my best writing is anymore. Like I always question it. Am I a writer? Am I a good writer? Does this, one of the things in the group is that she does these salons, and she used to do them in person, but since COVID she's been doing them online. So I participated in one whereby all the people in her different classes at the end of the series, we get together and actually read a piece of our writing, and we invite friends and family to join in, online, which is really cool. And I did it once, and it was so exciting, and I really loved this piece that I wrote. And I just don't love anything that much these days, so I don't actually know that I'm going to join.
Okay.
So all that to say, I think that I am writing. It's been great for processing, but it hasn't been necessarily like feeling like a creative expression, like I'm making a piece that's a creative writing thing. That
Well,
makes any
one quote of, oh, another quote, a book that Rainier Maria Rilke wrote. He wrote a book called Letters to a Young Poet, where he was
Hmm.
just exchanging letters and they bound it together. And he said, ask yourself, must I write? Must I write? Like, am I compelled to write? And that, if the answer is yes, you are a writer. And I've asked myself that many times over the decades. Must I write? And the answer was a resounding yes. But right now it's much quieter for me. Must I
Mm-hmm.
write? I sort of agreed to that writing project, but he's gonna have to talk a little louder, please. Can't hear you. So
Yeah, well, I know sometimes, yeah, like that question, like I can't, because I do so many different things. Like I haven't painted in, I can't even tell you the last time I actually, I mean, maybe, well, maybe whatever. Like I sometimes every once in a while just do a little quick painting and then I move away from it. And I've learned to be okay with it because it's part of my nature, it's part of my astrology, it's part of my Enneagram, like everything that that describes or helps you understand your personality, that is who I am. I dabble, I go here a little bit, I go deep in for a bit, then I jump out, and then I go somewhere else. That's just what it is. So I've learned to be okay with that. But if I ask myself that question about anything, whether it's painting or pottery or, you know, writing, any of the creative expressions that I do, I don't necessarily get a resounding yes, because it's like writing, well, but I'm doing pottery right now. So the writing is like, no, I don't feel compelled. I don't feel,
Yeah.
I have been told by a couple of different people. One is my writing mentor, workshop facilitator. She says, if you if you write, you're a writer.
Well, I feel like it's the same thing, right?
It's like writing, right? But it doesn't. I don't feel compelled. Sometimes I'm writing, like I'm journaling,
Yeah.
like I guess I'm compelled because I have thousands of journals. I must be on some level.
And I guess I am too, because lately I just have my Google Doc, and so I can type or I can speak. Um, so I guess I am, because I am doing that, though I
Yeah. Well,
may
I
not
think maybe
focus.
it's. I'm sorry.
No, please.
Maybe it's about like not, so there's something about writing with a pen in your hand and writing, right? And then there's something different that happens when you type, because I can type faster than,
Mhm.
like than I can think, or however that is. I can type
So,
fast. I can get it out faster when I type. But there's something different about hand doing it, and I imagine there's something very different also about speaking it, and
I
not
know,
not a bad thing.
I
Like
know.
something cool about speaking your immediate thoughts right into the
I'll
recording.
even go back to the page that one journal's on. It was even different for me if it was unabridged. It needed to be an unabridged page, no lines. And I used to write only with purple ink, and that all changes. You get older, you don't only have
Mhm.
purple ink.
Right.
But get that, and writing, and the thought process of writing. So writing with my right hand, but now it's writing with my left hand.
Oh God.
And but I don't now, I don't really, now I feel like if you learn a foreign language and you're just learning it, and you might not feel as comfortable with that than your original language. That's how it feels for me. Like I don't really I don't really want to express myself in this foreign language, because I don't have enough
Hmm.
skill or whatever.
Hmm.
And and I can't type very fast because I'm only using my left hand. um
Yeah.
but then right, speaking, that's a whole other thought process. you
Yeah.
know
Totally.
our thoughts are then going through they have a shorter distance than to get to our arm.
It is interesting though, when sometimes I'll bring my phone, like my voice memo thing on a
Yeah.
walk, because
Uh-huh.
I'm thinking, oh, I might just have some ideas or something. And I get all flummoxed and flustered. And I even though I'm the only one who's going to hear this, but it doesn't work that well for me, as it turns out, which
Uh-huh.
is interesting because I love to talk, and I love expressing myself through verbal, you know, means. It's like my thing. So I don't know why it anyway, just yeah, but I just guess the interesting thing is how different the energy is when you express in a different way. And I
It's very
suppose that any of the arts is just a different language of expressing colors, shapes, lines, words, typing, writing, hand to, mouth to hand.
one step even further would be dictating something, like off the top of your head, for someone else to write.
Oh, wow.
Because
Yeah.
I'm just thinking of like all the different ways we can communicate.
Hmm. Hmm.
I
Yeah.
think I could do that. I don't think I
I
could be like, dear so and so, please take this down. No,
yeah.
I need to
No.
just be more direct.
Totally. So I can't, yeah, I don't even know. I mean, I think the only people who I know who do that are very famous artists who have like a very particular style, and they train people to do like
Yeah.
certain things, certain pieces of their art that are more, I don't know, technical or something, or things that they don't actually have, and then they do the rest or something. I've heard of artists doing
Yeah,
that.
right. Work
But,
closely with someone, they can express what you are trying to express more truly. If someone, spends their time as one's protege, or
mhm,
yeah.
yeah.
So I feel, oh, you're not a politico. You're not politics. You didn't watch the debate. We shouldn't even get into that. All right, I'll call someone else.
Yeah, nope.
I'm just kidding. We won't even get into that. People don't tune into the dream stream to hear politics. So, Ellen,
Unless it comes into the dreams, you know.
thank you for your time in your frenetic paced
Yeah.
life right now.
I
One
feel
thing
I
I
feel pretty calm right now, just to say.
good. One thing I would like to say is I believe there's no mistakes. Everything's in God's time, whatever that means to a person. Everything has its own timing, right timing. And I feel it is no coincidence in like a shallower way that you are dog sitting a beautiful dog who reminds you of your and Tim's dog, Seamus.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that, because he was my dog for such a long time that I didn't even
After
make the connection that we adopted him
he's
together. Yeah.
started as the both of
Oh,
your dog, and I feel like that, and I just feel like there's such richness um for you, dear Ellen.
thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's been a, I do feel like this process is growing me for sure, somehow. So thank you. Thanks
Well,
for letting me
thank
share
you.
that. Thanks for sharing your tidbit, which I think feels kind of magical and very positive. And
Yes.
I feel like, if it's my dream, I'm really wanting to stay in that vibe of the possibilities.
Yes. Amen.
Mhm.
So thank
Mhm.
you once again for making the time to come on Dream Stream.
Absolutely, my pleasure, and look forward to doing it again, hopefully.